Alright guys, what's going on? Back at you again. Alright, so hope you like the train in the background. So there's a lot of people that are like questioning how everything went down the day Summer went missing. So I'm pretty much just going to give you the gist of it. Maybe when things were decided to be called out and stuff like that. So first thing I want to get out there is thanks everybody for watching the channel. Thanks to all my subs, and just watch the video all the way through if you want to support me, free of charge. Alright, so first of all, in the dispatch chatter or radio chatter, when you hear the dispatcher and some of the other officers talk about 302, that is Ronnie Lawson. They're talking about Ronnie Lawson, as in Ford's famous V8, the 302 boss. So, the boss. So anytime you hear 302 being called out on the radio chatter, on that Spotify 911 call, or the dispatch stuff that we hear, when they're talking about 302, that would mean that they are referring to Ronnie Lawson. Damn, did they hit somebody? I've never hear them lay on the horn like that before. Somebody must be on the tracks or something. Man. Anyway, if I see a big plume of smoke coming from back there, I guess I need to go, guys. It's gonna be like Ohio. Anyway, so here's probably how everything went down. Get the phone call roughly about 6:30ish. They get dispatched up there about 6:30ish. I'd say probably 3 or 4 officers arrive on scene, start talking to Candace, Grandis, maybe Jody Sue's even over there, who knows. So now, they're like, they go in and check the house, probably check around the yard, but you only got, remember guys, you only got maybe 3, 4, because Hawkins County doesn't have a big police force. So there's probably only maybe 3, 4, 5 cops there, looking around the property and stuff for her. And during this time, obviously Ronnie's probably already been, notified. And Ronnie is just taking in everything, going, okay, if this progresses, what do we do from here? So, probably after they, radio back, we can't find her. We've searched the house twice. There's only like 4 of us out here, guys, 4 or 5 of us out here, and she could be off up in the, she could be, we're gonna need some help. We 4 people, 4 or 5 officers can't do this up here. So that's probably when the decision was made to get the Search Hill Rescue Squad out there. And like I say, we know that the Church Hill Rescue Squad search and rescue, we know the call went out from dispatch to them at 7:11. So if Candace and Dawn called 911 roughly around 6:30ish, that's not a long time to go ahead and request for backup. Basically, saying, hey, we're gonna need some help. So from roughly 6:30 to roughly 7:15, that's 45 minutes. So that sounds about right, with them searching up there and then coming to the realization, in about 45 minutes, and you got to also stop and think. Stuff is being said, and these officers are taking this in. maybe even as they're questioning Candace and everybody up there, stuff is, there's stuff being said to the officers, there's stuff that's not being said to the officers that the officers are picking up on, going, the hell did they just say? And they're remembering all this. So and we've got to stop and understand that, we do not know what the officers experienced when they first got there. Who knows what kind of condition Candace was in? May have helped the situation, may not. You know what I mean? So, I'd say Ronnie Lawson was notified that, hey, we're going to need some help. So Ronnie, that goes out, everything starts going out to different agencies at that point. Ronnie notifies, because I'm sure somewhere in this mess of things going on up there in this 45 minutes, and when they're calling for, Churchill search and rescue, I'm sure that at this point they're kind of getting weird feelings, if you know what I mean, like something ain't adding up here. So that gets relayed to Ronnie. Ronnie's like, okay, got a missing kid, and this is being said. Things ain't adding up. Okay, I better call Dan. So Ronnie probably gets on the phone with Dan Armstrong, the DA, and Dan makes a decision to get bigger agencies involved, if you will, and all that stuff. Get the Amber Alerts going, the endangered child alert and Amber Alerts and stuff going. Once Dan contacts TBI, TBI will, they're in charge of all the alerts going out. So that's pretty much how it went down. Now, there's some questioning, when did TBI get there? Well, you've got TBI agents in and around Rogersville. You got some that live in Johnson City, some that live in, up here in Knoxville, the Knoxville area. And I'd say that TBI was probably there late that evening. With everything going on and some possible weird statements being made, obviously Dawn was telling them, hey, I know she's been kidnapped. I'm telling you guys, there were some statements probably made by Dawn and Candace that really made the officers go, what the hell are they talking about? How would he know? He knows that his daughter was kidnapped, but he can't tell us who? What makes him think that? There's stuff going on, and we've all heard Dawn do the whole, I know in my heart that she was kidnapped and taken or abducted or whatever, but then he stops there. He's like, he'll say, I know for a fact that she was taken, but then he stops there and can't back it up. That, my friends, is probably, what, that stuff like that being said to these officers, they know when something's up. They know when something's shady and something's sketchy. And when things are going down like that, that's when, extra resources are, brought in, card team. Let's see if we can't figure out why this man, this dad, is saying he knows for a fact that she was abducted, but he won't give us any more information other than that. Let's get the card team down in here. We need to do some interviews. So that, guys, in a gist, is probably how everything went down that night. So just You know, when you're thinking about all this, everybody's still confused. They're like, well, how specifically did everything go down? And that's pretty much how it went down. You got the officers arriving, doing a quick search for Summer, listening to the statements of Candace and whoever else was up there at the time, and Dawn may have been there. I mean, and you know, they're watching their behavior, listening to their statements, and they're probably going, okay, there's some shady stuff being said here. We better get some other people involved. So then those other people have to have time to get down there. That's why I'm saying TBI probably got there late that evening, and done some interviews and stuff like that. Carter team was probably there also late that evening, if not early the next morning. And then here we are now. So probably hundreds of interviews later, and everything else going on. But yeah, that's probably how it went down. So I hope this helps explain everything. If you have any questions, let me know in a comment below what you think. But yeah, you just got to understand, when those officers are up there, they're multitasking. You know, you probably got 3 or 4 searching for Summer. You might have 1 or 2, you know, taking statements, you know, asking questions from Candace and Dawn, and you know, at the same time they have to listen for stuff that's being said that might be off the wall, oddball crap, you know, like I might be sitting here talking to another officer, getting a game plan together, and Candace may come off the wall yelling something at Dawn over there, and you're like, did they really just say that? Dude, you better call Ronnie, and you better let Ronnie know what they just said, because that's weird, dude. Stuff like that. You got to take into account stuff like that may have happened when they first got up there. So let me know what you think in the comments, and see you on the next video. It's cold out here, guys. It's cold.